So the seeds have been sprouting for about 3 days, and now the tails are long enough to place them on the soil, and that's what I'll be demonstrating today. So you can see we've got quite a nice long tail on our sunflower here. In fact, I probably could have planted them when they're a little bit shorter, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is give it a nice rinse, one rinse. It's about 6 o'clock in the afternoon right now, so I had rinsed them this morning. And, you know, just depending upon your timing, the main thing is that you want to get them onto the soil before the tails get too long. And like I said, this could have been probably planted this morning, but it was a busy day. I didn't have time. And the other thing is I just want to show you, demonstrate, you know, how simple this is. It doesn't have to be exact, and it all still works, and these will grow into beautiful sunflower microgreens. Switch it around again and pour that out. So that now they'll be nice and wet for placing them onto the soil. Okay, so I've got my hot frog here with the soil in it. Just remove the lid, and I have my cafeteria tray here. And just a 1 cup measuring cup. I'm just going to scoop the soil onto here. Soil is quite dry. It's July right now, and it's been very dry so far this summer here in Victoria, BC, British Columbia in general. So you can see how much I've put in here. So it's not all the way up to the top. And then you just want to pat it down evenly so that you've got an even bed of soil throughout the whole tray. You want to pat it down quite firmly. And then you want to take out any bits of leaves or any chunks. You just want to break them up. Anything like this is like a little stick. You want to take things like that out, okay? So just go through it. Any grassy things, just make it as nice, and any little pebbles that you see, take those out. So now you want to make a little moat on the edges. Now normally I would use a 6-inch ruler, which I have, but I couldn't find it. So this is all about being resourceful, and I'm using a credit card. This one's expired. And you're just going to press it down and make that little lip, because that way you can just put water around there. There, you see? It's nice and flattened. I picked up any little sticks that I found as I was making the little lip around the edges. And that's what you want to see before we put the seeds. So now the fun part. We're going to take our jar and we're just going to sprinkle the seeds onto the tray. And once we have them on there, we're just going to spread them out. And we don't want to get them in the little lip. We want to just get them up to it. Just gently spread them all over as evenly as you can. You just keep doing that until you've got a nice even bed of the sunflower laying upon the soil. And there we have it. Isn't that lovely? And as I said, this was about a cup of the dry sunflower seeds. And so now we want to just give them a nice watering. If you have a watering can, you have to be careful that the holes are small and it doesn't come out too much because we don't want to drown it. I have this spray bottle. I just have a spray bottle like this. And again, I use purified water. I've got purified drinking water. And just want to give it a nice spray all over. So happy. You want to give them a good watering. Definitely don't want to drench it, but they do need a nice bath. Good exercise for the fingers. Wow. And then I'm going to take, this is just a water bottle with a, what do you call it, nipple. And I just want to put a little water around the edges in that little moat that I made. And that way the water will get a watering into the soil underneath. It'll soak in underneath. Okay, just like so. And that's great. There. I think that does it. So now, last but not least, we're going to take the same, exactly the same size tray. We're just going to place it over top and make a little covering. Give it, it's going to be in the dark. They like to start out in the dark. And there we go. You see? I'm doing the same thing with the buckwheat seeds now. Stirring that with water. And we just drain it. I got the tray all ready to go, just like with the sunflower. I've got the seeds on, and now I'm just going to spread the buckwheat over the soil evenly, just like we did with the sunflower. Okay, there we go. And just really the perfect amount to spread over. And the measurement of this when we started out was 1.25 cups because these seeds are smaller. So now we need to give it a good water rinse. I've got my spray bottle and I'm just going to once again spray all over. I want to see my hand. And also I'm putting the water along the little canal there. There we go. I did the other part already. Now we're going to put a lid on here. Buckwheat is actually my favorite, and you'll see when they grow. I just love them. They're so delicate and delicious. So I can't wait for them to grow up and for me to show you. All right, now we're going to place this up on the metal tray here. Perfect fit. Perfect fit for 2 trays. We've got our sunflower and our buckwheat, and so to be continued. And we'll continue that process until that lid actually starts to push off by the sprouts growing up looking for the light. And then we'll take it off and just water it every day until it turns into these beautiful sunflower greens. I'm headed to a Dollarama to get a dish rack and dish pan because I want to have a designated one just for the sprouts. I was using the one that I put my dishes in, but it really needs its own space. So I'm going to Dollarama because it's an inexpensive store and they often have the same items that you'd find at a hardware store or Walmart, but for like a quarter or half the price. And so I'm also going to look for some more glass sprouting jars. I need a couple more of the larger ones and maybe a couple other items I might see that catch my fancy. Here I am at the dollar store to get a dish rack for the sprouts. So I think I will choose this one. It's only $3. This is actually Dollarama, this store is called. And you'll see that you'll be able to place the jars very nicely in here. Now I need a bottom as well to catch the water, and what they have for it is this here. It's a really flimsy plastic and it really stinks. And so I think we also have to be careful of things that gas off, and really cheap plastics like this are not the best thing to have in your house. So let's go look for something else I can put under it to catch the water. I mean, you could put a towel, but let me just see if I can find something else. Okay, a little further down the aisle and I found this drip tray and it fits it perfectly. It's a harder plastic and it's a little more expensive. It's $4, so that's going to make it $7 altogether, but that's a lot cheaper than if you were to go to another store. We'll get that. I'm also looking for some large glass jars for the sprouts. Ideally you want the gallon size, and you can even ask restaurants sometimes when they throw out their condiments, sometimes they still come in glass jars and they'll give them to you for free. So here at Dollarama, this is just really a quart, but you know what, for a small amount of sprouts that you want to do, it'll work. So I'm just going to put that in my basket as well. Oh, wait a minute. I found something much better. Look at what I found. So this is the perfect size. Let's see how much this is. $3. This is the same as the sprout jars I showed you for the sunflower and the buckwheat that I got at the health food store. I think they were $10 each. It's the same size. This is glass and this is perfect. So I'm gonna get 3 of these. Yeah. And as a covering for the lid, you just need cheesecloth. If you have any screening, that works too. You can just cut it to size, but this cheesecloth is perfect and you just need to cut it to the size for the lid and attach it with a rubber band. I also found this dish mat in the kitchen section. It's like a silicone, so you could use that underneath the dish pan as well, the dish rack. I think I'll stick with the one I have, and this one is $3.50. So you can see at the Dollarama, it's just in the kitchen section. And I also found this really cute little food chopper, which I'm gonna get. At times when I don't want to pull out my food processor, this is just a little, let's see if I can show you here how to do it. Just pull this handle. Yeah, great. And that's $4, so I'll throw that into my basket too. So I've got everything I need, and I'm heading to the checkout. So the cost of what I spent for all this was $22.97, which is pretty good considering I got 3 large jars, a herb chopper, a dish tray and a dish rack. And I'm not sure where you are, but we also have a store here called Dollar Tree, and everything is $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, and it's a very similar store to Dollarama. It was farther for me to drive to, so I just went to Dollarama. But anyway, this, you can see, is quite economical to get the things that you need to do this program. It's evening time, and it's time to rinse our sprout mixture with the alfalfa and the clover and the mustard and radish. And so I'm just going to take the lid off. This is, again, like a cheesecloth with a rubber band, which acts as a perfect lid. I want to change the jar that these are in. And when I started this, I was short jars. So I used this water pitcher because it has to be glass. You never sprout in plastic. So this was all I had that was, you know, the right size for it. But today I went to Dollarama and I got a great buy. I found these wonderful glass jars for $3. So I'm going to just transfer this after I rinse it into the better jar that's clear glass. I want to do this in the sink just in case I spill. And I'm just going to transfer. Now this isn't the normal thing you would be doing. I'm just showing you that, you know, we tweak, be resourceful. This is real life. And I have a mesh lid. Now this lid did not come with the bottles that I got at Dollarama. A solid lid came with it, but it just so happens that this lid from the other bottle that I had fits perfectly on it, so I'm going to use it. But if yours didn't, then you just, like I mentioned before, get some cheesecloth with a rubber band and just put it over nice and taut, make it nice and firm with the rubber band, and that's it. You're ready to go. So these have been rinsed. There we go. You can already see the hulls coming off. When these are done, then we'll just be taking those away. They float, and we'll just float them off. But these aren't ready quite yet. So also, as you know, when we started out, I was just using my regular drain board that I also put my dishes on. But as well today at Dollarama, I got a very nice plastic drain board for a couple dollars and a, what do you call it, a drip underneath it, drain tray. And I'm going to use that now just for my sprouts. So I've got it at the angle here. Nice angle. Also, I made my sprouts try to be evenly spread with the bottle, not all clumped down at the bottom. Also, if it covers the lid there, it won't be able to breathe properly. So you want to try to kind of shake them so that they're quite even in there like this. And I've got my drain board and my nice table where I'm keeping it to sprout overnight, and they'll be rinsed again. And you know what? It's not too long before they'll be done. It doesn't take long, only a few days before you've got beautiful sprouts to use in your sandwiches and salads or many different uses for them.